I made last-minute reservations for Friday night at Bavel, the new Mediterranean restaurant opened by the owners of Italian hit Bestia in downtown LA. I wasn't especially hopeful there'd be any kind of availability, but if you play open table roulette often enough, you can get lucky every once in a while. So originally only 10 p.m. was available, but I kept hitting refresh, and sure enough, 6:15 popped up. Keep that tip in mind. Keep checking back. Also, for those of you who don't know, restaurants usually only apportion a few tables to the online reservation system and keep the majority of their tables available for call-in reservations. It's because OpenTable charges them per reservation, whereas reservations via phone or in person are obviously free to the restaurant. So if you don't see any availability online, you should definitely give the restaurant a call and they may still have something for you. When we arrived, they seated us promptly at a table on their covered patio. Unfortunately, I forgot to snap a pic, but you're not missing anything. While the patio was nice, it lacked any kind of ambiance. My sister, never one to not complain, then asked the hostess if we could move inside instead. And man, did we appreciate that. We got the best seat in the house. We were sat right in front of the open kitchen, and with that wood-burning fireplace, it was a showstopper. Plus, we got to see all the action front and center. So, like true boozers, we got our drink orders in ASAP. I got the Japanese whiskey cocktail, my sister got a dirty martini, and my boyfriend got a cocktail made with mezcal. I'm usually a red wine or whiskey girl, and cocktails only if they're not too sweet. Unfortunately, my cocktail was definitely more on the sweeter side and was heavy on the licorice, another flavor I'm not a super fan of. It was totally my fault for not reading all the ingredients, as the cocktail contained Amaro. Regardless, I do feel like the cocktail lacked a little balance, but take that with a grain of salt. Luckily, my boyfriend offered to switch with me, and of course, I took him up on his offer. The entire menu looked so delicious, but with only 3 of us, we resigned ourselves to the fact that we just weren't going to be able to try everything. Oh well, it just meant we'll have to come back. The waitress said that she usually recommends 2 to 3 starters and a couple entrees to share. With that in mind, we started with the Foie Gras Halva, which was creamy foie with an appropriately sweet date puree topped with black sesame seeds and served with thick, toasted buckwheat bread. First off, can we talk about who ate half our plate before they even brought it to us? Hashtag plating fail, hashtag gimme all the foie. But for real, for anyone who's ever had liver but never foie, the difference is that while the iron flavor is super strong in other liver dishes, it's a subtle back note in foie. Foie is just this rich, savory deliciousness. The date puree really complemented the spread in a very traditional way. Also, can I just rave about the textural crunch that the black sesame seeds give to the whole dish? Who knew it would make such a difference? And yeah, we totally killed it. Next up was a totally unassuming dish, marinated tomatoes. It sounded refreshing, and we weren't expecting much. Whipped feta, sea salt, olive oil, and something called smoked eggplant powder. I had never had smoked eggplant powder before, but whether it was just that or the combination of it all, the dish was mind-blowingly good. It was the perfect balance of tart, but not too tart, a hint of sweet, but also completely savory. Frankly, if there were any dish we wish we could recreate at home, it would be this one. Our meal was off to a fantastic start. Next, we got the Scallop Crudo with pomegranate molasses, citrus, serrano chili oil, charred cucumber, mint, and black sesame. Normally, I avoid crudo, as it's kind of boring to me, but Sister Pup wanted it, so we got it, and I ate my words. And scallops. So lately, we've been on a bit of an octopus kick. Octopus is hard to do right by. In the wrong hands, it can often turn out chewy and overdone. We had a feeling that would not be the case here. The grilled octopus was served with orange-infused yogurt, sumac, dried bell pepper, sun-gold tomatoes, and chervil. Sumac is one of my favorite spices. If you've never had it, it's got this citrusy, salty flavor. And in contrast, as I mentioned before, I generally dislike licorice. But I like star anise in Asian cooking, and I really enjoy chervil. Go figure. Chervil's got a light anise or licorice flavor to it that really just complemented the whole dish. And we didn't even need to cut the octopus with a knife. It was so tender. Our meal had reached its midway point, and next up was the slow-roasted lamb neck shawarma. I don't know about you, but I generally hate eating frou-frou food. I like meat-centric, rustic, shareable dishes. It's probably due to my food-sharing Chinese culture and my immigrant parents who look at tiny tapas dishes as a ripoff. I'm glad to say this was anything but frou-frou. We ate it as intended and told to us by the runner. Basically, it's like a Mediterranean sambar or a make-your-own Mediterranean taco buffet. You want to tear off a piece of the pillowy laffa bread, wrap it around a chunk of the lamb neck, drizzle some tahini, and stuff it full of the pickled veggies and turnips. It's such an unctuous bite. Our last savory dish of the night closely followed the lamb neck. We got the Braised Wagyu beef cheek tagine, prepared with golden raisins, turnips, chilies, preserved Meyer lemon, and served with a side of couscous. The cheeks were totally tender and so well balanced. Sometimes tagines prepared in this manner can be a little too sweet for my liking, but this was nicely proportional. Man, we were stuffed. It was the perfect amount of food for 3 foodies or 2 tiny Asian girls. Tiny. We ended the night with a Persian mulberry ice cream served with a black raspberry and orange blossom white chocolate chunk. And we also got the black Halva chai tea ice cream served with Moscato poached pear and a sticky honey pirouette.
Pirouettes. Pepperidge Farm.
Basically those Tweel cigar cookies I'm sure you've seen before. We were split on which one was better. I loved the chai one, but both were super yummy and a great way to end our night. Now for the damage. The total for all of those dishes plus 4 cocktails came out to $281.49. Note that there is a 4% kitchen fee, which they put in tiny print on their menu. This is supposed to benefit the non-tipped staff wages, implying that you should still tip your servers fully. Not to debate the logic of this, but the simplest way, if you're against it, is to just deduct the 4% from your tip amount. So with a standard tip of 18%, that works out to about $110.72 per person. Obviously, this is not the place to go if you're on a budget, but for a Friday night out and some truly fantastic food, one of the best restaurants in LA, it was totally worth it.